The Dodge channel, Xenia, subchak. I have two questions to you, if you allow. First, everyone is concerned with the events in Ukraine, but there are some other events in the Chechen Republic. Ramzan Kadyrov, the head of the Chechen Republic, de facto announced that the Russian federal laws are not functioning on the territory of the Chechen Republic, and that the constitution of Russia does not function there. He publicly said that there will be some massacres over the relatives of the people who are accused of terrorism without any court decisions. And so I'd like to have a comment from you as a lawyer and as a guarantor of the Constitution. Will you protect the citizens who now fall under the pre-court massacre? Their houses are being burnt, and the only human rights protection organization which exists in Chechnya has searches in it, and there have been a burning. Why did you give a floor to her? Oh, sorry, that's my fault. Well, Xenia, one question, just one question by one question. Let us respect everyone. Well, no. If you gave her the floor, come on, Xenia, the second question. Second question, I'd like to clarify for myself and our audience this fine line between the fifth column and the opposition. When you quoted Lermontov, it was quite clear, but how about the people who live now? Some time ago, you announced publicly that the mass media massacred my father earlier, and I believe that massacre term has returned to our life. I'm not speaking only about the mass media massacre of Makarevich, of some movies about some invented junta's friends. I know those people who those movies were talking about, and I know them as patriots. There are some slogans like Bandera's allies, which are going on the federal channels. And I'd like to say that currently the federal channels are instigating hatred within the Russian society. For example, the feature about the crucified boy shown on the first channel, where the state could have blocked that. This feature was published, and it has been proved that it is a lie, but no one has actually asked to forgive him for this lie. So, are you not afraid of this hatred growing in mass media, and what you will be doing to lower this degree of hatred? Do you still believe that the people are divided into your competitors and banderlogs? Well, banderlogs do exist. Kipling said that, not me. But if we go to the essence of your questions, the first question of yours about the words of Mr. Kadyrov about the relatives of terrorists and about their housing, their expelling from the Republic, etc., etc. You know, and here I can't have any other approach except one. Everyone in Russia must obey or abide by the existing laws. No one could be named guilty until the court verifies that. Second, that was the first thing. Second, I told you that life is more versatile and more difficult than that. And I have to say, from the practice of the anti-terrorist division's work, as usual, well, not always, I will clarify later, but as usual, the relatives of the terrorist attackers know about that at least. That is the overwhelming majority of cases, but still, that does not give anyone the right, including the head of the Chechnya, to make some pre-court massacre. I agree with you completely on that thing. More to it, the law enforcement bodies are now making a check and investigation on this case. Who those people who burned the houses were, it needs to be understood, because these people were wearing masks. And the words of Mr. Kadyrov might have been just emotional, but some people could have used his emotions. I believe that the emotions themselves could be understandable, because 14 policemen were killed during the terrorist attack, and it all began with killing the road service police. Not in a combat, but people were just shot directly at them. And some more people died later, and 38 people have been heavily wounded. And thousands of people, have went to the streets in a meeting, political meeting. And you know that there have, only after that, there have been some emotional statements from the head of the Republic, which I believe covered the expectations of the people. But of course, he did not have a right to do so. And it would be quite correct to check all the facts. And I repeat, besides the public statements and actions, there must be an investigation which would show what has really happened. Maybe someone has just used the words of the head of the Republic, or maybe not. And in that case, the law enforcement bodies would have to respond to the situation. But still, fortunately or unfortunately, you know which methods to fight with terror are actually used in the world, for example, in Israel. But Israel is not the case even. Now we have become witnesses of what has happened in the United States after the 11th of September. Tortures were legalized. How could you explain that? Moreover, they have not only been legalized, a method of torture has been developed. So, life is quite versatile, but we have to follow the law, in which I agree with you. And if we go beyond the law, that would lead us to chaos. And we will, of course, investigate the facts and respond to them. Now, to your second question, different campaigns on massacre in the mass media, etc. I just know, and I have learned that when I came to Moscow, I had some thoughts that a mass media massacre was organized against your father, but when I came to Moscow I found the confirmation to that. It seemed to me very strange even then that after Mr. Subchak bought a flat in 100 square meters, 2 legal cases have been initiated against him in a week's time, and then during the election campaign, the very fact of this has been printed on leaflets, and the leaflets were thrown away from the planes in St. Petersburg. Of course, that was an organized campaign, and it was organized by certain representatives of the authorities in the fighting with him. I'd like to assure you that there has been no special organization of any campaign towards the people who do not agree with our actions in the Crimea, in Ukraine, etc. None of the official powers or representatives of the bodies of powers have been doing this, neither. If there is some social response from the people who do not agree with the position, then the people who faced this disagreement must understand that they have not monopolized the power to oppose, and that there are people who do not agree with their ideas, and those people will be opposition to them. And you must just respond adequately to that. You mustn't just shout on every corner that everyone is harassing me, etc. But you must just have the discussion publicly. As far as the official authorities are concerned, I repeat again, there has been no attempt or orders or decrees to organize any campaigns. There have never been so, and there will never be. By the way, our European partners act quite differently. For example, to Mr. Gazmanov, to Valeria, to Mr. Kobzon, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Latvia forbid them to enter the territory of the Republic of Latvia. That is the position of the authorities. Russian authorities have never had any such position and will never have one.